Good evening. Today is Friday, March 11, 2022, here in Davao City, Philippines. I am Ace Perez and welcome to the Talking Heads, where we talk about news and interesting entertainment stories in our community straight from the sources. As we celebrate Women's Month, Talikala-Davao Executive Director Jeanette Ampog discusses about the state of women in Davao City. Actress Coleen Garcia Crawford is back in the acting scene with her new Viva Max original film Adarna Gang. Now to start our conversation, let's welcome to the show walaylain Talikala-Davao Executive Director Jeanette Ampog. Maayong gabi, Ma'am Jean, and welcome to the Talking Heads. You're on mute po, Ma'am Jean. Ayun. Maayong gabi, Ma'am Jean. And
maayong gabi.
Salamat
maayong gabi.
Ayun. Thank you so much for taking time to be on the show, Ma'am Gino. Let's talk about the plight of women here in Davao City. But before anything else, for everyone watching us right now, sa mga taga Davao and everyone watching this show, Talikala Incorporated is a non-governmental organization run by women for women, which offers mga support, advice, training, and counseling to women and girls who have been forced into sex trade in Davao City, Philippines. Tama man, ma'am, no? Mo to ang description sa Talikala-Davao. I got it from your Facebook page, no, sa inyong about page. So that's Talikala-Davao, no, and the executive director here in Davao City is Ma'am Jeanette Ampog, no. And ma'am, last March 8, we celebrated International Women's Day, no, and of course, for the whole month of March, it's the celebration of Women's Month, no. Would like to know lang, Ma'am Jean, no, taas-taas na ang mga panahon ganing agi, no, especially with the pandemic, the mga challenges. Kumusta po? How's the plight and the state of women, specifically here in Davao City?
When we say the state of women in Davao City, it's true that Davao City has trailblazed in terms of women empowerment and in terms of having a women development code in the Philippines, no. And in the past year, it has gone through with amendments in time or to update what are the situation of women in Davao City. So when we say state of women, last March 4, the city government of Davao City had a women's summit. No, it's the culmination of the different pre-summit in 3 districts. And it's so happy to see a lot of women who are leading the women organizations in different barangays have participated. And in fact, they have affirmed that there are a lot of changes in terms of the lives or the changes in the lives of women. But in so far as women, women and the economics, daghan pa siya dapat diskutanan kay daghan gyapong babae ang dunay kulang sa access diha sa panginabuhian, no, aron makatabang sa pamilya. In terms of ang pinakadako na hisgutan gyud is katong women and governance. While Davao City had boasted the Women Development Code of Davao City and we have the Barangay Council of Women, it's unfortunate to think that out of 182 barangays in Davao City, only 31 are held by women as punong barangay. So kung tanawon nimo, kada tong gusto nato i-shorten ang gaps, no, that women will be able to participate in governance. So kung it means holding elective position in the barangay, it will be good, no? So kaya lang mababa gid siya. So kana pa tong panghingusgan, aside from there's still violence against women, no, different forms of violence against women nga nagapanghitabo like kanang domestic violence, no, kay naa magyapoy mo report, no. Ang maayo lang nato madungganan na when a woman reported the incidents of domestic violence, it would be mean na siya'y husog na or strength nga mutugan sa iyang na-experience nga violence against women. The problem, the other side din, positive din siya, kay basin active ang mga barangay vow deaths or violence against women tests sa barangay, kaya nakita iyang cases. But there are still a lot of cases involving women, either physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. No? So, kana pa. So, akong nakita, it would not be the end of all, no? And it would not be the defeat of the women. In fact, maging challenge siya to really live up to the Women Development Code of Davao City as well as the Magna Carta of Women ng ato ang nasod. So, kana pa to. So, bingon mo, dako naman kay empowerment, kaya daghan na kay babae. In fact, ang nagastorya, babae. Pero, mas daghan pa mugod ang babae nagpakahilom because some of them, sa inyo nila, nigawa sa summit nga, some of them are not really confident of speaking out or holding positions tungod kay, di ba, daghang ni kandidatong babae, di magiboboto ang babae. No? Kay ingon nila, more than half of the voters are women. Pero ano di siya kapalingkod o babae nga kandidato. No? Siguro exception nga ang atong mayor kay babae, pero kung nauna na to sa history ng Davao City, si Mayor Sara pang babae ha, nga nilingkod as mayor. So kana pang challenge na to, Sir Ace.
All right. And you were mentioning, ma'am, no, na syempre taas-taas na gyud og kaning kumbaga when we say empowerment of women, no, na nag-improvement diri sa city, but still there's still a long way to go, no, para gyud mahaumta dito sa ato ang Magna Carta for Women and sa ato ang Women Development Code diri sa Davao City. But you were also mentioning na out of 182 barangays, no, 31 lang ang katong headed, no, by women, and that's what we're trying to push, no, especially with the incoming elections pod na hopefully more women will be seated, no, and will be in charge, no, sa ato ang community development and nation building para their voices will be heard also, para ano na ang ato ang gina-push, no, for social inclusion, especially for women. Now, ma'am, naghisgot ka, no, about domestic violence and of course ang kaning mga violence against women and children, no, especially in the city. Apil ani, no, especially kung maghisgot og domestic violence, na adira ang kasong rape, no, against women. Now, ang atuang bag-ong nilingkod, Ma'am Jean, no, na DCPO director, si niingon nga 11% decrease of reported rape case in the city. However, niingon si Director Lupas, no, on February 16 or somewhere in February, ana siya na dili siya mutuo nga kanilang ang mga cases, no, na about violence against women here in the city, because of course na ato yung mga underreported and unreported na mga cases, no, against women. Now, naabatay data sa Talikala, Ma'am Jean, about kaning ning saka ba ang mga cases sa rape involving women, or ning baba gyud siya as reflected, no, dito sa report na DCPO were mentioning?
Okay. I agree with the statement of the director of the Davao City Police Office that he doesn't believe that there is a decrease on sexual abuse among women. Kay ang akong nahibawan gud in one of the consultations with police, the law enforcers, ang ilang gina-report are those which are filed, no, before the court nato. Ang dili mo file og kaso, dili nila i-report.
Okay.
Oo. So therefore, those women who just wanted to record the sexual abuse are not counted. No, katong case sa sexual abuse are not counted. Kaya naay discrepancy between the record ng police o ng medico legal. Kay mas dagdaghan ang nagaatog medical legal compared to the police, kay dili man nila ginakount kung pa-blatter lang, no, pa-record lang. So more or less sakto nga ang logic is basin mas duol sa tinuod tong record ng WCPO or WCPO or Women and Children Protection Unit ng SPMC. Kay magpamedical legal lang mong na tanan, no, kay basi kato ang kinahanglan. So sa amua naman on our part, we don't have really an exact figure, but the mere fact that there are cases coming to the office last year involving women and young women, and even while we are talking kagahapon na ami 3 cases of sexual abuse involving boys and girls, no? So babae, lalaki, batang lalaki o batang babae. So ang problema lang siguro, daghan nagapanghitabo pero kutob lang sa magpa-counseling, kutob lang magpa medical legal, pero dili kinahanglan nila pa sa pagkakaroon nga magkaso. Therefore wala na butang sa record. So tama tong isulti ni sa ato ang DCPO director. Kay kagahapon lang Sir Ace, tulo ka bata sa isa ka adlaw from one barangay ang naa sa amoa nga niadto kay magpatabang, rape by men and LGBT, no, na community. So mga bata to. And at the same time, we have to consider into the picture that last year is still was still in the pandemic situation, and there are mechanisms that are not really functional well, no, functioning well, tungod kay mas busy sa paghatag og ayuda or any COVID responses, no. So dili kay makaadto dito, dili pa gyud kagawas ang bata, limitado pa gyud ang mobility ng babae, dili ta basta-basta makaadto sa mga police or sa medical legal, kay dili na mao pa ang naging priority. So there are still, it's just tip of the iceberg, I think, ang ilang statistics nga na-present.
Ayun. So, but Ma'am Jean, on an average ba, like in a month, pila ba ang kasagaran na madawat niyo, especially sa Talikala lang alone, na mga reports of sexual abuse, not just on women, but on children and atong mga batang lalaki?
Sa amua, I can say nga, kung mayroong kag disclosure from the communities kay naami session with children or with parents, makadawat mi og sa isa ka session from one barangay nga naay 2 nga unaddressed, no, wala unresponded cases of sexual abuse, no. So an average of 2 per barangay ang mag-disclose from the children. So just imagine kay naami 2 per session na, dili na per month. So that means kung naami 12 barangays, mga 24 sa isa ka session. So naay mga ingana, pero like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no, ang nahitabo, or even with the parents nga session namo, there are like isa nga mogawas nga she was abused when she was a child, mga ingana. So makita ninyo tong when we talk about sexual abuse, kana dayon ang dili ma-disclose, unlike kanang makulatahan ka, mastorya day nimo, no. So it just shows nga sa culture nato, it's really very hard, difficult for a woman or for a child to disclose that he or she was sexually abused.
Ayun. Yeah, I have to agree with that, Ma'am Jean, no. Kasi parang natatakot, mahadlok sila to report it because usahay pod na ginapa-feel sa ilahan nung when you were involved in this incident, murag murag lain, no, murag naa sa culture and na stigma ba in the community, in the society. So that's also one thing na
victim blaming, Sir Ace.
That's a term, victim blaming. That's one thing, no, that we should also address, no. Now Ma'am Jean, ang kuan ani, ang tawag ani, ang you mention ka na daghay mga reports, no, sa inyong office sa Talikala, but ang based on your information and in your data, kinsa ba ang kasagaran na perpetrators, no, or ang kaning mga ginareklamo sa mga babae or sa mga bata against, no, nga nag-violate sa ilaha on mga sexual abuse?
People who are known to them, no, dili mga stranger. It's like like family members, no, like father or grandfather or uncle or brother or family friend. So dili stranger or mga chatmate kanang
Oh,
na-met online. Yes.
with
Ana.
that, I don't know, with the technological advances karon. So
Yes,
it
yes.
contributes no sa ato ang problem, especially na
Mm-mm.
natin ana. So it's sad, Ma'am Jean, no, nga ang involved ani nga mga sexual abuse cases kay katura po mga people nasa balay, no, or mga friends, or as what you said, no, nga dili strangers, because
Mm-mm.
kung ato ang kuano, no, like ang katong kaya nga maghimo sa to ginana like sexual abuses kato yung mga strangers, but what the data is showing us is kaning mga cases also happen sa mga balay, sa mga bata, sa mga kababainhan. So
Mm-mm.
the sad reality ng akong society. So
So,
um now, Ma'am Jane, President Rodrigo Duterte, no, has signed recently lang amendment on the anti-rape law, raising the age of sexual consent to 16 from 12 years old. So what's your take on this amendment po, from 12 to
ah,
16 years statutory rape?
see, sir. Honestly, Talikala is part of the campaign, and I would
Mhm.
really, I'm proud to say that the campaign the increase of the age of sexual consent started in Davao City by the Child Rights Network, no, which ang ibang NGOs diri sa Davao are members, no. So dili na nag-start, no. The caravan on the campaign started in Davao City in 2018, no. And this campaign is backed up by the a lot of stories among NGOs who handled child abuse cases, no, mga rape or incest. Kaya nakita nga how would a 12-year-old girl or boy would can give a consent to have sexual act with a boyfriend or someone who is known to them or close to them. So paano siya nagkaroon ng discernment, no? Nga okay lang making sex ang 12. Okay lang ko kay 12 years old naman ko. Nga when we consider the age of majority in the Philippines, it's at 18 years old. Diba?
Yes.
You can vote when you are 18. You can sign legal documents when you are
When you
18.
are
And those are important tasks, no? Mga important decisions that you have to take. Then suddenly, you put 12 years old as a sexual consent age. Di ba? Lisod ni mo siya, mahuna-unaan nga ang 12 years old, na capacity to give consent to have sex. And a lot of teenage pregnancies might be a result of rape, but we consider it as consensual sex kay 14-year-old na siya or 16 tungkol sa kababa ng age of sexual consent ng Pilipinas. So ang ato ang nahitabo, so agreeable mi ana kay it would mean more protection, stronger protection for girls and for boys, no, when we raise the age of sexual consent. And therefore, there will be a lot of people who are liable or who violated that. So daghan nga mga siguro cases of teenage pregnancy nga result sa rape ang mabutang sa kasuhay karon. At the same time, naputong provision nga kung 3 years lang, 3 years age gap, it might be consensual, non-abusive, and non-exploitative kay para halos pareha lang silang edad. Mao na ang mga important provisions sa kana nga balaod nga gipasa atong March 4. So agree me o nalipay mi kay it would mean stronger protection to our children against all forms of sexual abuse.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Gino. But a follow-up lang, Ana, no? Yes, ang pag-raise of age of consent, no, on sexual abuse to 16 would really discourage katong mga mag-abuse, no, or mga perpetrators, no,
Or
to not
manguyab.
do that. Oo,
Manguyab og
manguyab. To not do
14.
Oo. To not do that, no, or parang maging mahadlok sila ba kay because of tougher na mga penalties. But what do you think dapat ang ato ang tutukan karon now that we are successful with the campaign of raising it from 12 years old to 16 years old, unsa dapat ang next move no or next na tutukan sa atong government to ensure that ma-realize no ang aim yun o ang goal aning balaod to increase the age of sexual consent to 16.
Just like any laws on women and children, no, the tough call is not on the passage only. The tough call
Yes.
is on the implementation. Therefore, there is a big challenge from the government as well as from the non-government organization to educate the communities, raise the awareness of the communities on the new laws, and capacitate the implementer of the law to implement the law. Kaya ang problema kasi, all laws in the Philippines are subject to different interpretation based on what you perceive, based on what are your biases, and it should not be the case. Kasi it should be standard naman. So, raising the awareness of all the communities on the new law and capacitate the service provider who will be in charge of implementing the law. Ana siya. Ang dapat tutukan kay usually diha gani Sir Ace mabilin permi ka na bang nalipay na tatanan and all the celebration and everything, and we forgot that the hardest part is the implementation of the law, and if there's an allocation on regarding the implementation of the new law.
Yeah, indeed, no. It all boils down to implementation. How will the government no implement these welcome development dito sa ating bagong law no on raising age of sexual consent. Now, on my last point, Ma'am Jean, no, to raise, OSEC, grabe ang cases no of exploitation, no, online exploitation no sa mga bata and sa mga babae during especially in 2020, no, according to the records, it increased by 177% no in 2020 compared to 2019 ang online sexual exploitation of children cases in the Philippines. Now, kumusta ba ang sa Davao, Miss Ma'am Jean, no? Kumusta ang cases sa OSEC diri? Is it alarming, especially with the pandemic, no? Kumusta, and what are we doing, no, especially sa Talikala and the government to address this issue?
Okay. The first challenge of OSAEC, no, detection of OSAEC cases in Davao City is how far or how deep is the understanding of the communities on OSAEC, because it might be happening before our own eyes, but because of the lack of understanding, we cannot identify it's an OSAEC cases. Second, it's a very difficult case in terms of detection because it's the cases or OSAI cases happen inside the premise of the home, or kasi di ba na ay mga gadgets, na ay mga laptop, it does not necessarily happen on internet cafe but in the comfort of our homes, no. So lisod kay na kay wala pulis diha, wala po silingan nga mingon nga OSAIC na, no. Tapos it involved families. And yes, just like the sexual abuse perpetrated by family members, medyo lisod, no, because nobody will attempt to report it, nobody will try to tell to stop it because the families derive money from it. So kana ang problema nato. And the evidence, ang sometimes with the evidence, no, kanang pag-build up sa case, medyo problemado pod kay di man ta kabalo mo preserve og mga ebidensya. So kana siya. So kung yung kag USAID cases, there are a lot of we have heard a lot of USAID cases or alleged USAID cases, either self-generated, no, ang bata mismo nag-upload. Tapos karon nabutang sa mga lain nga mga kamot, nagpasa-pasa na kwartahan, or they are exposed to mga private body parts nga nag-pop up lang, or some people will ask for a nude picture from them in exchange of what, money or any material thing. Kasi sir, there is a thing such thing as grooming sa USAID. Kada bang i-win ang trust ng bata kumbinsihin ang bata na importante ka, o pwede material, pwede moral support, which makes the child special. And then after that, nakuha na ang trust, then the sex offender will ask for any or for any sexual picture or nude picture or sexual activity with the child before the camera. So lisod siya while nakadungog nami nga na ay mga ipa-perform in exchange of Bitcoin, no? Bitcoin na ang currency nila nga ginagamit karon. So kaya lang lisod siya i-tracking sa law enforcers tungod kay nahitabo sulod sa mga balay. But there are a lot of ginastorya na ay mga social media page in Davao City nga naga-promote ana. Kana siya. So, and we have discussed it with cybercrime, with the LGU ng Davao City, with this WCPD, and then with CSWDO and the SWD, as well as with the DOJ. So kana lang mo report ka sa Facebook ngayon ito, take down tapos naghimo na pud og bagong social media page. Ana ang mahitabo permi. Unless there is a child or the family ng victim nga will go forward and really divulge everything, then we can build up the case. So ang challenge is to get the cooperation ng mga telcos, no? Para sila mismo can have some mechanism if they have detected this unusual activity in one particular social media account, then they can do some actions on it.
Yeah. And I think mga big companies, especially mga social media giants, are also doing their parang part, no, sa detect ana. And also Ma'am Jean, no, ang problema ani, no, because syempre ang family involved, no, ang parents involved, and nagkakapera sila through the activities, no, mga bad activities done by their children.
Yes.
And gina-brainwash nila ang ilang mga bata, no, nga what they're doing is good, what they're doing is right because they're helping the family alleviate ang poverty, no, parang para to support the family. So sometimes malibog po, especially mga bata, no, especially katong mga bata gid kaayo nga they don't really know what they're doing. So sa tanaw nila tama to because they feel na nakatabang sila sa pamilya, and that's a sad reality also. Now also Ma'am Jean, I also read, no, nga some reports na ang mga reason sa mga parents or guardians why they feel na dili siya crime and they feel that it's okay for their children, it's because it's done online, so walay physical touch, walay physical contact, no, with katong abuser or katong mga naga kuan sa mga bata, benefit sa mga bata, no. But unsa bang effect ani sa mga bata if not wala may physical touch, it's done online? But usually ano ba ang effect ani sa mga bata doing this kind of activities online?
Yeah, kada ang sad truth that we have to acknowledge that it seems that the parents recognize that there's nothing wrong and there's no harm physically done to the child. Kay wala may meeting, no, wala touching, wala sexual act nga nahitabo between them, but it's only on the camera. Pero ang long-term effect of these children mas hadlok. Because this video, these pictures, even if you deleted it, na siya ginatawag na digital footprints. Somewhere na stored na nga picture. 50 years later, these children will eventually confront this picture somewhere. No? Kay naay copy yun nga nabilin, maski i-delete pa. Kana tong tanawonon sa mga parents. At the same time, naay mga long-term effect like kanang mahadlok ang bata mo online na, kay basin makita niya o nakita sa iyang classmate, matrauma siya, no? O matrauma siya. Tapos na ganing ang anxiety of having these thoughts nga the people, my neighbors might see it, mga ingana. So naa siya yung mga ingana. Tapos like sa amo nami bata nga siya kanang mag-suicide kay a foreigner or a man asked her to have sex before the camera with the same with some girls whose age is the same with her. So katutong murag trigger sa iya nga I have to tell somebody of what I'm doing. But the family did not do anything because they derive benefits from it, naayos sa ilang balay, nakapaeskwela sila sa ilang anak, dili sila gahatag og allowance kay monthly ang support tungod ana. Pero naabot gud sa ang bata nga gusto na siya magpakamatay kay giluod na siya sa iyang mga gipanghimo before the camera. So kana
Yeah,
ng mga oo. Tapos eventually magkaroon ng distortion on sexuality. Ang bata labi na nag-start siya og sayo. Unsa din sex ibaligya? Pwede din ini buhaton before the camera for all the people to see. So basi hindi nato na maagapan, basi daghan na tag mga bata nga magganahan na making sex. No, face to face kay na may kanang pagtan-aw nga ay wala may nawala sa ako nakakwarta pa ko. So he or she might be doing it face to face sometimes. So panging ana sir Ace.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Gino, tama gyud. And murag ang effect ana is parang ang mga bata really feel unsafe no both online and offline because of what they're doing. But if you're really trying to see no ang root cause ani is because poverty yun no ang kapobrehon kaya pud ang mga katong mga parents parang they also opt na lang to just let their children do it. But siguro what we can do is empower no this family, especially the poor sector, the sector nga under the poor no sa poor sector na to really have their livelihood para dili sila maka-opt into in so, awareness gihapon pud no could really
Yes,
help you
yes.
in addressing these osiyak na di ang term ma'am no
Ang
online.
na-approve ba nga balaod or kanang law on the third reading kay online and offline sexual abuse and exploitation of children.
Kaya ako sa all right, thank you so much Ma'am Gino. If you nanakay gusto i-plug ma'am ng mga activities sa Talikala and anything that you want to a message especially to women and children out there watching us right now, go ahead po.
Okay. First, thank you, Sunstar, for allowing Talikala to share our advocacy via your online show. And then to all women and children out there, bisan pa outside Davao City, if you experience any form of abuses, just remember it's not your fault. It's the fault of the person who do it to you. And then you can reach out to any service provider, both from government and non-government organization, and we'll be there to help you and support you without any judgment, without blaming you what happened, just purely acceptance and acceptance and provision of services that you needed. Thank you and good evening.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Ma'am Jeanette Ampog, the Executive Director of Talikala Incorporated here in Davao City. Again, mayong gabi, Ma'am Jean, and keep safe po.
Manggabi.
Now, when we come back, we will be joined live by actress Coleen Garcia Crawford for her comeback film, Adarna Gang. All that and more after this short break. All right, and you're still watching News Bits. You're still watching the Talking Heads here on Sunstar Davao. We're now live on Sunstar Davao, Superbalita Davao, and our YouTube channel, and that's Sunstar Davao Digital. And as promised, we will be joined live by actress Coleen Garcia Crawford for her comeback film, Adarna Gang. Let's welcome to the show, walay Miss Coleen Garcia Crawford. Maayong gabi, Ma'am Coleen, and welcome to the Talking Heads.
Much for having me. Hello. Hi, Ace, and hello to everybody watching. Hi.
Ayun, gwapa kayo. Maayong gabi, Miss Coleen, and thank you so much for joining us. We're glad not to have you here in our show to talk about your life as an actress and of course as a mother, na especially ngayon na it's Women's Month. Now we are celebrating the month of March as Women's Month. So thank you so much. And would you like to greet all your fans here in Davao region? Go ahead.
First of all, thank you so much also for having me here. I'm happy to be here. At sa lahat ng mga sa Davao, hello. Hello po sa inyong lahat. I miss visiting there. Sana makavisit na ulit kami dyan very soon. But in the meantime, sana po lahat kayo ay safe and healthy at masaya.
Ayun. I'm sure that they're excited not to watch your upcoming film, Adarna. No, now streaming film, right? Now streaming
Yes,
film,
yes.
Adarna Gang on Viva Max, exclusively on Viva Max. Now, before we talk about your new film, Colleen, kumusta? We'd like to hear from you. Kumusta your ang buhay mo during the pandemic? You had this break no from showbiz and to focus sa pagiging mother mo no. Kumusta ang yung journey no to motherhood with your very cute baby Mari.
Masaya. I mean, I'm not gonna say na masaya siya every single day
Mm-mm.
na talagang yun lang, hanggang masaya lang. I mean, of course, it's also hard. It's also very challenging. It took a lot of growth to happen for both me and Billy, but it was great. It's still great, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Ayun, I saw a lot of cute photos no with Amari
Yeah.
sa Instagram no, ang cute and we're happy no that you enjoyed your time really no, especially sa growing years ng anak mo na si Amari. Very important no for mothers, especially of course father, the parents both of you to be there no sa growing years ng anak mo. But now
Mm-mm.
you are back no after your hiatus on showbiz. That's I think in 20 your last film is Mia in 2020, right? So
Yes.
Um, kumusta ang preparation mo sa pagbabalik mo dito sa showbiz? Or
Ayun,
in
so
back to
yes. So, actually, it took a lot to prepare, more mentally than anything talaga yung preparation because wala ako sa headspace na confident pa na ako, na alam kong magagawa ko talaga to na walang mistakes and ano na perfectly, you know. So, I had a lot of insecurity starting out and I wasn't very sure if I would be able to give my 100% kasi actually apart from worrying about my performance and worrying about the film itself. Syempre, I had to worry about Amari kasi kasama ko siya doon, kasama ko siya sa
mm.
hotel. So, I had to
I
think
see.
also about him, yeah, every night
Mm,
na binabalikan ko siya doon sa hotel. So, kung okay ba siya, syempre, iba din yung mind ng mom, di ba? Medyo may
mm,
pagkapraning kami, di ba? So, it was challenging, but I'm glad it's out of the way because at the end, sabi ko, okay, kaya naman pala. Kaya naman to balance both and, you know, to be a hands-on mom, to not lose too much time with Amari. Kasi during the day, independent naman siya. Nakakalaro-laro naman siya. And then during some of my breaks, na pupuntahan ko naman siya. But
mm.
yung gabi kasi, doon niya talaga ako kailangan. And it's good kasi hindi naman late yung mga pack-up namin. So I was able to be there for him all night.
Ayun. So you can do both no your especially your
Mm-mm.
career and now being a mother to Amari. But can your fans expect ba Colleen that your comeback film na Adarna Gang will be parang signal na for your really official comeback on showbiz na magiging more busy ka na with more films under Viva now?
Yes, hopefully. I guess if there's anything we learned in the past 2 years, it's that things are really unpredictable, diba? But as
Yes.
far as
Oh.
I am concerned and Viva, sana sunod-sunod na to. And there are plans for the next films. So, maraming may
Yes.
expect naman yung mga, nag-aabang. But, yun, sana talaga tapos na yung pandemic na to.
Yes, oo. And we're excited no to witness your upcoming mga projects no both in acting, hosting at kung ano pang gusto mong gawin in your career. Now, let's talk about your film. Ito yung this is the reason why you're here no, yung bago mong
Yes.
film Adarna Gang. So, can you share to us kung ano yung istorya nitong Adarna Gang? I know that it's parang based no sa Filipino folklore na Ibong Adarna, but
Yes.
ano yung kaibahan dito sa Adarna Gang? Ano yung twist?
Well, it's inspired by the movie. So
Inspired,
maraming
yes.
elements, yeah, it's maraming siyang elements from the original story. Like actually yung tatlong characters nga, doon galing yung mga pangalan nila, yung tatlong prinsipe.
Oh,
And may mga iba't ibang elements from yung bato, yung kanta, yung ang dami talaga eh. And ang pagkakaiba is syempre yung overall story because it's not the exact same story as yung ibang Adarna. May ano lang siya, kakaibang kwento because usually it's a mob film and usually mga mob films is very masculine and this one has a female protagonist. So, yun, yung bida na kumbaga kinakatakutan ng mga tao ay babae. And ayun, just in time for Women's Month, it's very empowering. Ayan, no, di ba?
Yes. And sa picture,
So,
diba?
yes, and we're used to, di ba, yung mga action films, yung mga mob films being, all male cast or yung mga babae, parang they're secondary lang. So, yun. So, sa
Yes.
mga babae na mahilig sa mga ganong type of films who want to see a character that they can relate to or, I mean, sana hindi naman kayo mamamatay taon. Sana you don't relate in that way. Pero, yung makarelate kayo. Kasi ako minsan, mas na-appreciate ko yung story, syempre, kung may female lead talaga. Kasi mas nakaka-relate ako sa mga struggles niya, di ba? So, this is for the women out there, but also it's for all the men because the rest of the cast, bigating mga artista talaga, like Sir Ronnie Lazaro, sina Diego Loizaga, JC Santos, si Jay Manalo, nandito din. So, there's something in there for almost everyone.
Ayun. So, na-mention mo kanina, no, may kanta. So, kumanta ka ba dito sa Adarna Gang? Kaninong boses ba yung
Actually, yung kanta, pag napapansin nyo, humming-humming lang siya. Hindi siya totally na kanta. Oo.
Yes,
Maybe the
oo,
next,
nakita ko
we
sa
don't know.
trailer. Nakita ko sa trailer yung enticing, no, yung humming. Parang iba yung feels ng film na Adarna Gang. But you mentioned
Yes, actually, sorry,
go ahead.
actually yun, since you mentioned it, yung trailer and yung humming, if you notice the trailer, maraming mga action, maraming mga bang-bang, di ba? Mga takbuhan and everything. But the overall feel of the film is given by the song. So may pagka smooth and eerie and dramatic siya. So I would say yun actually that is the taste of the film. And minsan kasi yung trailer, di ba, hindi masyado binibigay yung story and everything. And I would say, ito, pag napanood mo yung trailer, hindi mo naman talaga alam yung story. So
Yes.
there's nothing that the trailer gave away. But it really gave the perfect feel of the story. Kasi doon mo makikita na yung contrast between yung action and yung drama. Yung the two elements coming together.
Ayun, very well said, Miss Coleen. But you mentioned na you kasama mo dito si JC Santos, kasama mo dito si Diego Loizaga and Mark Anthony Fernandez. No? So kumusta? How is it working with the three boys and of course the rest of the cast? No, how is it working with them?
It was great. Part of the reason why I accepted this project in the first place is kasi alam ko na from the start na sila talaga yung makakatrabaho ko at walang nagbago doon. And it's been amazing. It's been a learning experience for me. I knew from the start na marami ako matututunan dito sa experience na to working with these actors. And yun, marami akong babaunin to my next film galing dito sa film na to. And yung working with these actors, it has been a great experience. And sana maulit-ulit yung mga project na ganito na bigatin talaga yung cast.
There you have it. And you are also working here with Direk John Red, no? So kumusta naman ang pagtatrabaho with Direk? How is he as a director?
It was great. I always say this, the reason why talagang kakaiba is because he is both the director and the writer of this movie. So solid talaga yung vision niya para dito. Alam niya kung saan papunta yung story. Alam niya yung exact shots and everything kasi siya din yung nagsulat. So minsan kasi para sa mga katulad ko na nasa film industry, alam nila to na syempre, when we're working together, iba't iba yung mga interpretation natin sa isang script, di ba? So, minsan, yung writer and yung director, minsan, di ba, may mga disagreements or may magkakaiba yung vision nila, magkakaiba yung kung anong gusto nila mangyari. Siguro not in the whole story, but per scene, di ba? Per shot and everything. So, it was very clear and siguro kaya rin kami sobrang bilis kasi alam na alam ni Direk talaga kung anong gusto niya. And most of the scenes na tinik, one take lang talaga.
One take, wow.
So the fact na nakabuo kami ng pelikula na puro one take lang na siguro a little over a week yung timeline namin. A little over a week, tapos na yung buong pelikula, yung tapos ng i-shoot. So, it's impressive. It's really impressive. It can't always be done, but they were able to do it. They were able to get away with it.
Ayun. So parang Direct knows what he wants no and how to do it and how to achieve it. And of course, no with the rest of the cast na very cooperative and collaborative no with the whole team. We're
Yes.
excited no kung ano talaga ang output nitong Adarna Gang and it's now streaming on Viva Max. But sino ka ba dito sa Adarna Gang? Sino yung piniplay mo na character and how much can you relate ba sa character na pinoportray mo dito sa Adarna Gang?
Well, the name of my character is Adriana, and siguro yung pinaka relatable para sa akin is siguro if anyone did the same thing to me, I would want to do the same thing also na ginawa ni Adriana. Siguro hindi ko gagawin. Pero I mean, ayoko kasi ibigay yung story, but kung anong
Yes.
ginawa niya, I think anyone would want to do it in their heads talaga pag nangyari sa'yo yung nangyari kay Adriana. And yung character kasi ni Adriana, hindi din kasi siya yung kasi people might expect, 'di ba? Hindi din siya yung from the start ano na siya, parang palaban na siya, yung namamatay tao siya or anything. It didn't start out that way for her. So the good thing about the story is you really see the progression of her character. You see yung story arc niya buo talaga. Yeah. So it starts out na hindi siya ganun hanggang sa may mga nangyari sa kanya that caused her to change who she is. And every decision that she made just slowly started changing her. And dun mo makikita kasi it's not like sa start ganito siya, tapos sa next few scenes, ibang-iba na siya. Hindi. You see the gradual progression. Unti-unti siya. Like every time na may nangyayari sa kanya, unti-unting may nagbabago sa kanya.
Ayun. So hina-hina yung pag-reveal no or pag-develop ng character ni Adriana dito sa Adarna. And we want to know no ano pa talagang klaseng gradual revelation yan and development sa character ni Adriana. And of course, I'm just curious, Coleen, since mga nearly 2 years or over a year kang nag-stop no in acting, in produce or in getting involved no sa isang pelikula or sa isang movie or sa isang series. Pagbalik mo ba like pag-arte mo like yung first day of shoot ninyo with Direct John Red, ano ba yung mga changes na napansin mo? Like because kakagaling ko lang interview no with Nadine, sabi niya pagbalik niya daw parang may iba, parang feel niya may mali siyang ginagawa, pa mga ganun na mga but unti-unti naman with the help of the director and the cast nalagpasan naman at naibalik yung acting na kung anong ginagawa niya before. Sa'yo ba, how's the experience, especially after ilang years no of hiatus? Kumusta yung nanibago ka ba or right after naibalik agad ang Coleen as an actress?
So I mentioned that we did this in about a week lang yung timeline namin for this film. So at the start, so talagang mabilis ang pangyayari namin dito. At saka may mga rest days pa yon in between. So diba, ilang days lang talaga yung shooting namin. At the start, ganun yung feeling ko. I was very intimidated. Feeling ko, ako yung magiging weakest link. Ganon. Not in a competing sense, pero yung parang ayoko ipahiya yung mga kasama ko. Ayoko ipahiya yung sarili ko sa mga kasama ko din, 'di ba? I didn't want to drag the film down. So nandun yun sa isip ko. And it usually takes me time to warm up. And no matter how much I prepared, this was the first time I was meeting a lot of the people. Kasi normally, ang process nung film, we usually meet for storycon, and then for script reading, tapos may mga look test pa yan. So by the time na mag-shooting kami, di ba, established na yung mga, yung mga relationships namin, na nagkakilala na kaming lahat, and everything, we're comfortable with each other already. Minsan nga may mga workshop pa yon, di ba? So the fact that we skipped all of that, nag-zoom lang kami isang beses for costume requirements, for protocol and everything. Tapos nakita na kami, and a lot of us met on that day. It was very intimidating, especially for me, kasi first experience ko na ganon. Kasi yung last na show ko, na film ko, hindi pa ganon hindi pa pandemic. So, it was my first time experiencing this. And I always had this parang underlying thought na I can do better. I'm not doing good enough and everything. But Derek always reassured me. And just like my character with a gradual progression, at the end of the taping, I gained a bigger sense of confidence na nakuha ko hindi lang from myself but from the people around me kasi nakita ko na yung mga actors na nasa paligid ko, lalo na yung mga veteran actors, ito yung talaga yung takeaway ko sa mga veteran actors. They're so confident. Even if magkamali sila sa lines, even if hindi nila masunod yung instruction ng director, they're not afraid to make mistakes. They're not afraid to go out of the box, and they're not afraid to give more than what is asked of them. Yung kumbaga add a bit sa hinihingi sa'yo. And a lot of the great actors here and in Hollywood, they do that. They inject mga galing sa kanila, whether it's their personality or lines, yung ganon, a certain movement, certain nuance and everything. Yung may bago sila at may kakaiba silang kino-contribute na hindi siguro naisip ng director or hindi naisip ng writer or right on the spot, parang okay to, di ba? So, the worst thing that can happen is that the director will just ask for another take. 'Di ba? Or mapagalitan ka. Pero the worst thing that could happen is you can just take another take, 'di ba? So that's one thing I learned. I regained I gained a stronger sense of self-confidence and mas magiging daring ako as an actor in the next projects to come because of that lesson that I learned from them.
That's great, Coleen. So parang you now trust yourself, no? Especially pang may gusto kang take na ganitong gawin mo for the scene and for the character. Now you're not that afraid, no, to inject your flavor or your take mo in or yung approach mo for the character. That's
But it
good.
also
Thank you so
helped
much.
that it also helped that the veteran actors were also vulnerable, and very honest. Like si Miss Mickey, for reals, we were talking about how hanggang ngayon ang tagal na niya sa industriya pero nahihirapan pa rin siya umiyak minsan and everything, which I really didn't see kasi ang bilis niya umiyak. Mas matagal pa rin ako. Pero yung ganon, 'di ba? Yung like them opening up about their insecurities and yung mga things that they feel like they need to work on, yung ganon. It's very encouraging also kasi nakikita namin na okay, medyo they know what I'm going through. They know what I feel. Siguro, di naman kami, we're not probably the same because syempre mas experience sila. But in some ways, similar yung pinagdadaanan namin. Similar yung iniisip namin, di ba?
Na nakaka-relate pa rin sila sa inyo and of course, nakaka-relate ka sa kanila. So parang na yung connection ninyo is better now. Thank you so much, Coleen. Now, would you like to invite everyone to watch Adarna Gang, and how can they watch it?
Yes, so Adarna Gang is now streaming only on Viva Max. So there's no other way to watch it but to download Viva Max from your app store, whether that's Android or iOS or whatever phone you have. I'm sure they have Viva Max in your app store, and you just have to subscribe. And there is a small fee of 149 pesos a month. Pero yung 149 pesos a month na yan, multiple devices na yan. So you can actually share the subscription with your family or your friends. Tapos pwede pa siyang i-cast sa TV. So hindi lang hanggang sa phone yung napapanood mo, pwedeng sa TV din. So may feel ka, 'di ba, na pelikula talaga yung pinapanood mo. And then you just have to pay that small fee. And then apart from Adarna Gang, meron kang access to so many movies, TV shows, whether it's yung mga luma na or yung may mga bago. Like for example, this was made just for Viva Max. So ang daming mga ganyan. And a lot of my films in the future, actually most of them, talagang Viva Max din siya lalabas. So ang daming mga artista ngayon ng Viva na have so many promising films, so much nice content na hindi mo mapapanood anywhere else except Viva Max. So if you're a fan of original Pinoy content, and actually may mga international din naman na movies doon, then I encourage you guys to download Viva Max today.
All right. Again, congratulations in advance, Coleen Garcia Crawford, for your new film, Adarna Gang. And we're excited to see a lot more sa mga upcoming projects mo in the near future. Again, that's Coleen Garcia Crawford, the lead actress of Adarna Gang.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me again.
All right. Again, that's Coleen Garcia Crawford, the lead actress of the now streaming film on Viva Max, the Adarna Gang. Again, and that wraps up our conversation for tonight. Maayong gabi. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Talking Heads. Good evening and have a safe weekend.